Welcome back to the shop. A wonderful holiday greeting to you all, no matter what you are celebrating. Me personally, I love all of the smells, the sounds, and I also love the sights. I love all of the lights that are put out for Christmas. Some more tastefully done than others, but that's neither here nor there. But I did want to actually kind of work on some lights myself in the modeling department, and honestly, it was a little more work than I anticipated. So let's get right into it. First, we'll have a look at what's on the bench before we get into the fuselage. You can see that the landing gear is down, and I'll get to that in a second. But what I wanted to really start first with was the light system. Now, I had mentioned previously that I purchased a light kit for this, and this is the E-Flite de Havilland Beaver set. DHC2 Beaver 1.5 meter. It's a civilian airplane, and the light set will work just fine for our application. It comes looking with wires like this. Had to do some soldering to get the lights where they work, so the white ones blink and the color ones are constant. And I made sure to map it out so that I didn't do something stupid. Yeah, I do dumb stuff. I put the wrong light on the wrong side on a really nice model. So try not to repeat that mistake. That being said, I do have, so I went through and I tested the lighting system previously on a 9-volt system. Just ran just a 4-cell pack. Had, this 4-cell pack, and just tested the lighting system that was in it. And all of the lights were working, but I didn't want to mess with any of the higher voltage stuff. I just wanted to run straight off of at least the receiver. So I've got a buck converter to convert down to 5 volts. So the system is running straight off of a 2-cell lithium ion pack. And I just wanted to run straight off of that. So buck converter down to 5 volts and regulate that voltage for this. So I used the existing wiring, which is all this black stuff. The wiring was just fine. It's all copper wiring, but I had to redo all the lights. Now, the lights inside, you can see they are the LEDs. They are replaced. This was a chore. So let me take you to the other side and show you why I mean that. So looking over at this side, you can see that there's a little bit of a difference in color, and that's because there's like this, it's like tail light vinyl tape stuff. Able to peel this off, and I thought, well, I could drip some CA debonder, because they use CA to seal this piece of plastic on. You can't get these anymore. So I had to salvage this. The CA debonder did not work very well. So I ended up having to use my number 11 blade and very shallow cut around the perimeter to get the lens off. So this is the result of that. Essentially what you see now is the lens removed. I pulled the wire through, soldered on the LED leads, tested to make sure that I had them connected down there correctly, and fitted the LEDs in. This piece of balsa did break off, this one here. So it was honestly a blessing in disguise, because the hole was not right anyway. So new piece of balsa, new hole, and a little bit of white paint, no big deal. And it's placed on here using the Dubro hinge tape, which is the same thing as 3M Blenderm, but yeah, ready to go. So you might be asking at this point, well, what are you going to do about the Blenderm? So I'm going to leave the Blenderm there. I'm going to use more of the, I've got some on order, more of the vinyl head or tail light repair tape stuff. I'll use some of that to redo what I took off, and then I'll overlap the Blenderm. The reason is I believe in serviceability. And so when I do repairs and I build models, I think about that serviceability. LEDs, not really need to be serviceable, but because of the delicate balsa structure inside, might need to repair something as it gets brittle over time. So there's that. Good options for this if you are going to be using glue is Formula 560 canopy glue. You can soften that glue with some rubbing alcohol and then like use dental floss, work some dental floss underneath of it to sort of saw cut it, because it's really just a silicone glue for the Formula 560 canopy glue. So that's an option too. So yeah, I haven't done it to the other side. I have not done this to the right side of the airplane because this was a lot more work than I thought it was gonna be. So that being said, I still have to keep working on this. I'm gonna flip the wing over and show you why the landing gear is extended. All right, so wheels and legs, pretty straightforward stuff. Robart retracts, all well serviced and lubricated. Everything's working great. But if you'll notice, there is one thing a little bit different. And first of all, that is that I do still have my Dubro tires on here, and they are fantastic. But really what I want to draw your attention to is this. And all of this is a 3D print. And it's a 3D printed version of this. So what this is a gear door mounting bracket, and this is for 3/8 inch gear. Well, these are 1/2 inch. Those are 1/2 inch legs. So I needed something. I didn't have any of these on hand, and I didn't know how soon Robart was gonna, well, the new owners of Robart were gonna open their doors and let me buy new stuff. So I have a 3D print. So what this is essentially this exact same shape, just bigger. And this is just a solid piece. You can see there's no holes or anything in it. But what I've done is I've drilled a hole here. It's kind of difficult to see. There is a hole there. And then I've drilled and tapped another hole here. Now, this is not moving, and I am you can see how my fingers are turning pink. I'm gripping on this thing and it's not turning. So this is good. This is solid. I'm happy with this. If these ever become available and I happen to be able to pick some up, I will. But in a pinch, these plastic ones made out of ABS will work great. So what is that for? Obviously, gear doors. What I can't show you is actually in the paint booth. So what I did was I took a picture off of online because for the Bonanza plans, it actually doesn't have any outline or provisions for a gear door in the front or on the mains. But I feel like on the ground, the gear doors are kind of a characteristic thing that I wanted to include. And ultimately, if I don't like them, I can pull them off. It's not a huge deal. So I took a piece of foam board and cut it out per some measurements that I did. You can easily do conversions, and this is where honestly high school algebra comes into play. So let me run you through some of those measurements. So based off of the picture that I took, I just dropped it into a PDF and did some basic measurement. You can do the same thing like measuring on a screen. But really what I did was I took a height of the door and a width of the door. And what I knew was that I had a height of 10.5 centimeters from where it's going to land on the landing gear to the wing. And then my objective was to go to the image and measure that exact height, which was in this case 0.4 inches. It doesn't matter what the unit is because we can have the unit carry. But this is a simple example of cross multiplication, right? So then what measurement do we need? So looking at my template, I needed the base. How wide is it here? How wide do I need it? So I've got this measurement, which is 0.4, measured it in the program, and you can just take a ruler to a screen on a picture. As long as you don't zoom in or out while you're taking these measurements, that'll work too. So I measured 0.55, and so it's just a matter of, okay, well, if I know this height is 10.5, what is this one based off of the image? So 0.55 times 10.5 divided by 0.4 gives me the number that I need, which is 14.5. Okay, so then you do the same thing with additional measurements, and in this case it was, well, what's this height? Okay, and then the next one was, well, how wide is this part? So I knew this was roughly in the middle. We're not going for true scale here, so you would take more measurements, but really that's the gist of it and how I was able to get all of these. So this is in the middle of this, and that's it. Very simple, basic shape, and that's how I'm able to mathematically get it to where I need it to be. From there, it's a matter of taking the template, tracing it onto some plywood. I've got my little circular saw and made zip work of that. Sand the edges, shot some primer, and now I've got some paint curing. That's just on the inside. I'll try to cover the outside with some white covering that I've got in my stash over here. Mostly because I kind of want it to match, but also it gives it a little bit of fuel proofing because it is glow, and glow likes to eat through stuff. So with the paint that I've got on the inside, I'll shoot some satin clear on that just to help it not be, you know, too like, hey, look at me, I'm gray and I'm not white. I don't like gloss. I'm becoming less of a fan of gloss as I get older. So yeah, that's really it on the doors. I'll get that going. It's been back and forth, right? Between getting the landing gear doors done as well as get the lights done. Let me go to the fuselage and give you one last update there and let you see these lights that I've got going on the model. Fuselage on the bench. Again, landing gear down because I had to extend them for working on the gear doors. So nose gear remains down. So what's changed here? Well, first and foremost, you'll notice that I'm rocking a different spinner here. I forgot I had this spinner. It's an old True Turn. They don't make these anymore. Had it and thought, you know what? It's too pretty to not use. Sorry, Dubro. I love you guys, but I mean, can you blame me? After that, I decided to go ahead and start installing the lights that I had. So first and foremost is the top beacon light. That was pretty straightforward to do. Had to cut a couple of small holes for this to pin into. Use some glue. I used the Deluxe Materials Fix and Flex. Starting to really like this glue for stuff like this, vibrations, and it's a good glue for this application. I also installed the LED in the tail. Had to do some wire extensions and things like that for both of these to make sure that it worked right. And last but not least, this intake vent. I had pulled this off. It was held on originally with essentially double-sided foam tape, and it was just hanging on by a thread. So I took it off and cleaned off all the residue and everything on top of the deck here. So again, applied that with the Fix and Flex, and it is working quite nicely. I can easily pick up and shake the whole tail, and it doesn't even feel like it's budging. So I'm really happy with that. And again, I can use the whole, if I need to take it off or if it's falling off, I can use the dental floss technique to help saw through some of that softer glue. I'm really not reinventing the wheel here, guys. It's just a matter of, you know, making a hole in the model and poking the LED through. I'm using a little bit of the Fix and Flex to hold these LEDs in place. Again, a little bit of fuel proofing, a little bit of security, but the idea is to hopefully not have to service them. But again, leaving proper glues in place so that I can if I have to. All right, so last but not least, we're gonna, let's see, I've got the radio on. We're gonna turn the model on so you can see the beacon, flashy, flashy, and flashy, flashy in the rear too. So then the last one was up here. And so I had to cut away the landing light from a string of wing lights for the green side. That's why I did the green side first, not the, or sorry, did the red side first, not the green side, because this light comes with the beaver on the left side of the wing. So Pulled that off, made some extension. You again use the same wires and connection. There's a little plug that goes through the firewall to help keep things fuel up here and not inside there. Yeah, so that works, and I'm pretty happy with that. If you notice, there's a little bit of reflection here on the inside. I did clean things up really nicely and apply some of my aluminum tape and then polished it a little bit to help increase that brightness and diffusion of it. I had to use a new piece of plastic to create the lens. This one, so yellow, and yeah, you can see how yellow and not transparent it is. So used a piece of soda bottle. You can see the remnants of it here in the garbage. Soda bottle, and yeah, took a socket from my socket set, put it on there, taped it into position with some Formula 560 canopy glue. That way, if anything happens under there, I can pretty easily get this off. So we're all set there. Made sure that everything is working great on the nose gear, and we're set. So while a lot of this stuff just seems pretty simple and superficial, there is a lot of work that goes into it. And that's why I tell people, like, when you go to your flying field and you see one little change in a model, say something. Because more often than not, it's been a labor of love, okay? Some of these simple things just, you know, it'll make someone's day that you took time to notice there's something. It's like, hey, sweetie, did you do something different with your hair today? It's kind of like that, but in a guy kind of way. So I'm going to keep going on this, try to finish the wing and the landing gear out, and keep going on other projects that I have. And guys, again, it's building season. If you need to get parts and products from Dubro, go to their website and use code Josh10 at checkout and save yourself a little bit of money. And in the new year, I hope you guys keep building and working on your flying works of art.